What's going on, beautiful people of YouTube? This is Renebean, and welcome to another episode of Live Video Game Hunting. This is the series where I show you all the cool stuff I've gotten through the week, through yard sales, garage sales, flea markets. I go to thrift stores like Goodwill and Salvation Army, and I use apps like LetGo, OfferUp, Craigslist, Facebook, whatever I can use to get my hands on awesome games at excellent prices. Make sure you stick through to the end of the video, because not only do I show you everything on a one-on-one level, as well as anything you did not see on camera, but I also announced the winners of the weekly contest giveaway. If you want to be entered, the rules are super simple. Obviously, be subscribed to the channel, leave a comment down below, hopefully something positive, and hit that like button. It helps this channel out tremendously. Links to everything is found in the description below. Instagram if you've had any questions. eBay store because I always give my subscribers good deals. Twitch channel if you ever want to hear me bitch at a video game, that's the place to do it. P.O. Box information, it's all in the description. I'm super excited about this week and I hope you are too. So sit back and relax, people. Let's shekel up. Alright everybody, welcome to another awesome episode. I hope everybody had a fantastic week of hunting. As always, let me know what you found out there in the wild. It is super interesting to hear some of the things that get found out there, as well as some of the stories that you guys have to tell about your adventures. But anyways, we're going to start it off here with Miss Renebean. You've seen this guy in a bunch of previous pickups. He's an awesome person, and she's digging through this tub of randomness, and she does come across a copy of The Last of Us. And if you have never played that game, I highly recommend it. It is truly a masterpiece. But anyway, she picks it up for $1, which is a pretty good deal. It's not a heavy-hitting game or anything. It sells, I don't know, somewhere between $8 or $10. But still, it's a solid title to have and a great bundler to put with a system. Here's Miss Renebean again, still at the flea market, and she comes across a stack of random movies, and she sees that there are some games in there. Like I always tell you, anytime you see movies, DVDs, always try to look at them. Try to recognize your splines, recognize the colors, whites for Wii's, greens for 360s, that sort of thing. Try to recognize the GameCube emblem, just so when you're walking, you can quickly identify these things. When I get to the flea market, I am usually running my ass through these aisles as quick as I can, so I can see as many people as I can. Now, some people would argue it'd be better to stop and at each table and look through everything as best you can. But keep in mind, the times that I get to the flea market, I'm not the type of person to get there at 9 or 10 o'clock and look at all the leftovers someone has left me. I am the type of person to get there when people are getting there to sell. That way I can get to each one of their vehicles as they're unloading, and I can see right then and there, and I can ask them if they got any games, and my chances increase 1,000 times over. But here you can see with this Renebean, it's a little bit later in the day. The reasoning for that is it's Friday. It's always a casual hunting day for us. On Fridays at the flea market, 8:30 is usually about the perfect time for us to go. Now, obviously, I wasn't going on this one. I had to work. That's why she's filming. And then we always try to make it an effort on Friday just because we always typically have luck. But if it's Saturday or Sunday, you best believe I will be getting there at 6, sometimes sooner. Later in the season, since the sun doesn't come out till later, you can go a little bit later. But when it's the start of the season, I have been known to get to that flea market at 4:30, 5 in the morning. You got to have that get factor. My chances of finding a game are 1,000 times over the person who gets there at 10 or 11 o'clock. Now, yes, you can find stuff that late in the day for the people who come to the flea market to sell late, but I guarantee you my chances are far better than theirs. But back to the footage here, you see Miss Renebean picks up an awesome stack of titles here. Unfortunately, I had them all, but for $1 a piece, they were great pickups. These are good games to bundle with systems, and I'm always preaching about bundling, because keep in mind, you can be selling an Xbox locally for $30. Nobody wants it. No one wants to even look at it, but if you pair it with a game like Halo or something that you pick out in the wild for $1, you may find that's what's going to move that system. So I always try to look out for fun games, even if they're cheap. They're not worth resale. They're still good to bundle with. And on a bonus note, she picks up this awesome Walking Dead comic for $1 as well. I'm a huge fan of the series. Once the actual TV series is done, I'll probably run through the comics. I don't want to look at the comics before the series is done. I guess I'm kind of weird like that. But for $1, it was a pretty good pickup. So this turned out to be an awesome stop for me. I was at the flea market and a buddy of mine tipped me off that this person down here was selling some games at a very reasonable price. He already went through and got some really good titles. He got Champions of Norath, which I have yet to find. That is one game that I have been looking for such a long time, and hopefully I will come across it. But he did tip me off down here, and he said that this guy was selling some games at a decent price. It was all hit or miss stuff, like the Mario Party. I believe he wanted like $40 for, full blown retail. But a lot of these PlayStation games, he only wanted $5 a piece for, and of course I'm going to get that bundled deal at the end. So you see I grabbed these Maximo games for the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation has a lot of awesome hidden gems that I've never heard of. A lot of exclusive titles, and you all know that's what I collect, is only exclusives for that system. And these games looked interesting, so I picked them up for $5 a piece, and like I said, I'm going to get that bundled deal at the end. But his prices were all over the place. Like, you can see those basic Game Boy games in the back. He wanted like $10 a piece for, $10 for like a Bug's Life for the 64. And you encounter these people all the time where I don't know if they really know the pricing of what they have, or they just kind of go with what they see other people do. And that's why you can catch really good deals a lot of times. Like I said, my buddy found Champions of Norath in this stack for $5, and he got a bunch of really good titles like Spyro, a bunch of PlayStation 1 games. And unfortunately, I was second to the pickup, but at least he tipped me off, and I was able to go pick up some things. And a lot of us hunters at the flea market cross paths, and we always try to make it a point to stop and talk to each other and be friendly, which is what it's all about. There's some people that come to that flea market that I would imagine do not like me, which is fine, but majority of them do, and I like them. I love talking to them. I love hearing what they find. And, we all help each other out, which is what it's all about. I would rather go to that flea market and have a great time than go there and just be salty as hell, pissed off that there's other people, hunting. I like seeing the other hunters that I'm friends with there. It's cool to talk to them and hear about the stuff that they found and some of the stories that they got. And like I said, we all help each other out, and that's the way the community should be. Now, it's funny how the universe works sometimes, because now as he was digging in the back of his vehicle, I saw that he had some strategy guides. I was like, hey man, let me check out your guides, because I like collecting them, because I never come across Nintendo Powers, as you heard me say in my last pickups video. I tell you what, people, it is insane how the universe works, because as you can clearly see, what he has in his hand are some Nintendo Powers. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the first Nintendo Powers I have ever came across in the wild. Now keep in mind, I grew up with these things. I never had the subscription. I never, purposely picked them up. I never wanted to until now, later in my collecting life. And now that I have finally came across them, I was extremely ecstatic. I was willing to pay like $3 or $4 a piece for them. But he only charged me $1 a piece for these Nintendo Powers, which obviously I think is a great deal. Oh my god, I was super happy. Even though they are late release Nintendo Powers, they are still Nintendo Powers, and they are the first ones I ever came across in the wild. Now, some of you out there may be like, I come across Nintendo Powers every week, and I can believe that. I'm telling you, it is weird how things work out. I've heard of people never finding Yoshi's Story for the 64 out in the wild or ever even seeing it. I see it all the time. It's just, that's how things happen. For me, I never come across Nintendo Powers. I never actively seek them out, until about 6-7 years ago. But that's a long time never to come across them. Now, if there's something out there that you have just never seen that is super common, let me know. am desperately eager to hear about that. Now, some of these are not Nintendo Powers. You see, he's got these two strategy guides for Banjo-Kazooie and Super Mario Sunshine. He said he wanted $5 a piece for those, which is a decent deal. It's still a little bit high for me, so I did pick up Super Mario Sunshine. I'm more attached to that than I am the Banjo-Kazooie series. Now, keep in mind, the whole time we're sitting here talking, and I'm picking out all the stuff that I want. I'm just making a pile, and I'm getting prices in my head, how much is this, how much is this. I'm adding it up, and at the end, I'm going to, take an axe to it and chop it down and hopefully get a deal out of it, which I did on this, and that's what you always want to do. Never buy things one item at a time. Always bundle it. I don't understand how people don't do that. I have seen pickup videos where people are literally buying one game at a time from the same person. Don't do that. Make a stack and get a better deal at the end. Now, there's things at this table I'm sure you're wondering why I didn't pick up, and the reason is just they were overpriced. I'm not going to pay $10 a piece for basic Game Boy games or $40 for Mario Party. So what I did was I looked around and I was able to find some really good deals. That's how it is. Don't be discouraged when you get to a reseller's table. You can always find good deals. You just have to take the time and look through everything. So as we recap here, I got Super Mario Sunshine, the strategy guide, all the Nintendo powers, and both Maximo games, and I only paid $12 for this entire visit right here. It was a great deal. I was very happy about this pickup. I think it's just like with Hello Friend that you see in a lot of my pickup videos. I always try to stop at his table when he's setting up, because if he's found something that he has not looked up the pricing yet, I can usually catch him every time slipping, because he thinks that he knows the pricing of a lot of these games, but he doesn't, and I have gotten excellent deals from him, even with the stuff that he has priced. He is known at the flea market for being super high priced, above eBay, and a lot of people avoid him, at least a lot of the dedicated hunters. I don't. I stop, I talk with him. He's a very cool dude, and I can find some really good deals as you have seen in previous pickup videos. You just have to try. I mean, that's the thing. There's been many times where I get to a reseller table and I'm just completely discouraged. That's why you rarely see me show footage of a reseller table, just because you're not going to get lucky every time. There's been many a times where I will get there and it says everything's overpriced. You don't want to mess with it. You don't want to pay retail. That's not why I go to the flea market or yard sales. I go to these things so I don't have to pay eBay prices. I am on row E6 or whatever it is at the flea market. I am not on row eBay. So I am hunting these deals. But like I said, go to these resellers tables, and I ain't going to say it's necessarily catching them slipping, which I have done a handful of times with Hello Friend, but you can get really good deals. Either they don't know their inventory as well as they think they do, or you just catch something that would have been overlooked, and you are the one there to pick it up. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that would like to see me, film reseller tables, even when I don't buy anything. That's not what I do. My footage is only of finds that are good deals, and that's all you're ever going to see. I'm not going to just film a table for no reason. I'm going to show you the finds, and I think that's what a lot of you people out there want to see. You don't want to see me looking through a box of individually priced PlayStation 2 games. Now, some people have awesome channels where they show footage like that, but for me, I can't do it. Alright, so here I am at the Goodwill that's near the flea market. I always tell you I try to make it a point to stop there. I almost picked up this Game Party 3, but it was scratched all to hell, and for a crappy Wii title that I never play, I didn't even want to mess with it. But I do come across this Truth or Square PSP game. It was a SpongeBob game, and like I told y'all before too, I'm also trying to grow my PSP collection. It is a very fun system to collect for. There are a lot of awesome titles, so I picked this up. I think it was like $1.50. Not a bad deal at all. And I will say it is getting harder and harder to find games at Goodwills now. And I think a lot of them across the map are just, they're turning to that if it's a solid title like, Mario, Pokemon, that sort of thing, Zelda. If it's easily recognizable, they take it and they send it to their online auction sites, or they're individually priced and all this stuff. This is actually one of the few Goodwills that I have found that does not do individual pricing. All the other ones, even the one that I work directly across from, is individually pricing these games directly from eBay, and it is hurting. It's hurting so bad. So it's just getting harder and harder to find really good deals at Goodwill. Luckily, this one has yet to do that, but I got a feeling it will soon. And it does piss me off. I mean, Goodwill is pure profit. Their inventory is donated to them. The fact that they want to get top dollar for anything that they sell, it irks me. I guarantee you that is going to be a sucky side episode here shortly. But anyways, like I said, it's just harder to find these games at Goodwills. You still can. You still have to, look and be vigilant, look in the movies, the books, all that, because you do get those situations where employees put them out, the ones who don't handle the games or the people who don't do the pricing, and you can still find stuff. It's getting harder and harder to. Now, like I always tell you people, always check the electronics, the VCRs, the keyboards, all that, because you can find systems, controllers, random stuff. I found Game Boys, that sort of thing. And I come across this weird SSX plug and play. I have never seen this before in my life. This thing looked extremely interesting, and you know that I love my plug and play, my bootlegs, and this being official, the SSX snowboarding series, I had to pick this up. Now, I don't know if you recognize the problem with this unit, but I do, and that was the fact that it did not have a price sticker on there. But there's an easy solution for that. I found one on this keyboard. It was an extra one. It was $3. I think that is more than fair for this unit right here. And Goodwill is notorious for having people swap stickers on stuff all the time, and it's because they overcharge the shit out of the items that they sell, and people will pick something up and they'll say, there's no way I'm paying this retail price for this used item, or whatever the situation may be. I'm not one to really do that, but in this situation, since it had no sticker at all, I wasn't going to take it to someone and have them say, well, you can have it for $10. They can eat my ass on that one. So $3 was more than fair. There was an extra sticker on the keyboard. It was destined to be done. So you can hate me for it or you can congratulate me for it. Either way, $3 for that pickup, I was happy about it. Goodwill is purely profit, so it does not hurt my feelings to do this. Like I said, I don't do this. It's not something that I normally do. It was the situation, and I think I handled it well. They even got it now to where you can round up your purchases. You know, it comes out to $4.63. Would you like to round that up to $5 to donate to Goodwill? I mean, they are getting the money. So, like I said, it does not hurt me. I'm not one to swap stickers, but in this situation, I definitely feel it was justified. So here we are at a thrift store that you have never seen in any of my pickup videos, simply because I never have luck at this place. And it's not, I mean, I go there all the time and I almost, want to stop going there because I never have luck. But, today was a different day. I found Sonic the Hedgehog on DVD for $2. You know that I love collecting my video game, movies, and series, and I actually found something at this place. Usually it is completely overpriced, or it's just sports games, or I don't know if they take all the good games and sell them online, but I'm telling you, like, it just doesn't make sense. For as many times as I stop at this place to never have found anything, it's completely wild. Because, I mean, you got to keep in mind, it's basic statistics. If you go to a thrift store, X number of times a week, your chances for finding a video game, they go up with each time that you visit. So if you go to a thrift store 3 or 4 times a week, you got really good chances of finding something. And I never have luck at this place. Like, I can go to one of my Goodwills 3 or 4 times a week, and I can usually get lucky 1 or 2 times, out of those visits. But with this place, it's just, it's non-existent for me. If there's a thrift store that you have never found luck and finally got something in, let me know. So even though it was just a DVD of Sonic the Hedgehog, I consider this my favorite pickup of the week, simply for the fact that I have finally found something at this impossible thrift store. And maybe my luck will change now that I've broken the ice, and I'll keep visiting, and you never know, I might start actually finding stuff, but I'm just glad I found one thing, and it just gives me a little bit of hope at this place. So here I am at the first yard sale of that day, and this was a good stop for me. I always love it when the people at the yard sales are friendly and talkative, and they're not just there to sell you stuff. They're friendly people, and that's how these 2 ladies here were. They were very awesome, and it was a fun stop. I always try to make it a fun stop. I always try to make everybody laugh and just have a good time. Not only will that help me get a good deal, but I get to have fun in the process. Now, as we're talking, I give her the list of the stuff I'm looking for, and she says, come on back. And oh my goodness, I love it when people do that, because that means they got some stuff for me. Now, I was hoping for some retro stuff, because the list that I gave her, Nintendo, Sega, Game Boy, I gave her the whole shebang, and I actually saved, Xbox, PlayStation, Wii, that sort of stuff for, the end of the list, because that's kind of your fallback, because a lot of people don't have, the older stuff, but they have a lot of the more modern, so you try to get it out of the way first for the older stuff. But she says she has some video games, a big old box of it, and I'm all excited carrying this thing up for the table. Now, keep in mind, I'm making them laugh. I'm saying, well, you're putting me to work. You're going to have to give me a good deal or whatever it is. That's just part of the fun. I love having fun. They're laughing. We're having a good time. So I opened the box to discover this big box of PlayStation 3 stuff. And I will say that I am glad that modern games, they have, this shine to them, this glaze on the bottom of the disc, because when they are loose, that you will find a lot of these discs in here were just scattered around. They still don't get scratched that easily. I don't know what it is, but they are very scratch resistant, which is a good thing, because had this been, original Xbox or PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 games, they would have been scratched all to hell, but since they were PS3 games, they, survived fairly well. Now, you'll see at the bottom of this tote there is a bunch of the Disney Infinity characters, the little portals. I don't know anything about that stuff. Same with the Skylanders. I am sure there's some rarity with those figures. There's some sought after items, but I don't know anything about it. And I'll actually use, these items as, bargaining tools. I'll say, I'm not looking for these, toys, these figures, and even if they're still bundled at the end, it'll still make everything ultimately cheaper because, either I get rid of it, they take it away, or they just say, well, you know what, we'll just make it cheaper since you don't want it. I mean, it's obviously not something that they find that's worth anything. So what you see me doing here is going through and putting all the games back in their original cases. It's like a pet peeve of mine. I gotta, fix everything back. But what I'm also doing is I'm trying to find the games that's going to make this worth whatever value that they throw at me. And I do come across some good titles. I come across Minecraft as well as the story mode, which are always worth picking up because they still sell, for a good price. Because keep in mind, you want to come to this battle prepared. If they say, well, I'll take 70 for everything, you got to, have it in the back of your mind. Is this worth $70? You don't want to look like an idiot while you're sitting here trying to add everything up. I'm doing that prehand. Before we even talk about money, I am adding everything up that this lot is worth. Now, keep in mind, I don't know what the Infinity stuff is worth. It's beyond me. That's something that I am not familiar with. So I am considering that, non-existent to me. But as for the games, there was about 10 or 12 games, so a few good titles. There was the PS3, the Slim. It was, the newer model, not the one with the little slide top, and there were 2 official controllers and 1 broken aftermarket controller. So after getting a price that I felt comfortable paying for it, that's when I asked them the question, how much did you want for all this? And she comes back and says $50, which is a pretty good deal. I wanted to get it for a little bit less, and the person who owned it actually walked off, and I was talking to the other lady, and I'm still going to make her laugh. I'm sitting here saying, is she a haggler? Am I going to be able to get a good deal? And I'm actually haggling with this lady before the other lady even comes back. I say, well, she says, how much are you going to offer? I said, how about $30? She says, she probably settled on 40. We actually settled on 40 ultimately. I wanted to settle for 35, but still $40 was a great deal for all this. It's all resale. I'm not going to keep any of this. There's nothing that I need, but will be a quick flip item right here. I find that PlayStation 3s sell a lot better than 360s, especially the later model PS3s. So for $40, it was a good pickup, and I had fun doing it, and that's what it's all about right there. I love going out to these yard sales and having a good time and meeting some really awesome people. So for $40 for all that, I think it was a great deal. Now here's a yard sale where there were no games present. They were only brought out after I asked. I can't stress it enough. Always ask if they got games, give them the list, and I mentioned Wii. He said he got some that he did not play anymore. You also see the signed baseball. I actually got a buddy at work who loves baseball stuff. I picked it up for $2. I have no idea who the hell it's signed by. Hell, maybe Babe Ruth for all I know. But I picked it up. It was part of the bundle deal with all these games that you're going to see. So going through these games, you can see he had some really good titles, some ones that are definitely worth picking up. One of the downsides is a lot of them were scratched, but that does not bother me because for what I paid, which was $2 a piece for these games, I can take that risk. I got my JFJ Easy Pro, the resurfacer, so if I can get one of these games to work, I'm happy. It'll make my money back. It's not going to hurt me at all. So I picked up the baseball and 5 Wii games for ultimately $10, and it was a good deal. I haven't tested any of these games or resurfaced them. I don't like to give someone a scratched all to hell game. I like it to look nice and pretty. And if you've seen my Life of a Gamer vlog series where I talk about the JFJ Pro, you can see the results, and it'll make a disc look great. So that it doesn't bother me to pick up games that are scratched out in the wild. That thing will pay for itself 10 times over. There have been many situations where I've picked up a game for dirt cheap because it's scratched all to hell and brought it back to life. So this was an awesome pickup right here. At first, when I saw all these titles here, because they were all A-plus titles, I was like, oh, this is going to be a very expensive lot right here. But you see, I've had luck at this place many times before, and I get here a little later in the day, like 9 or 10 o'clock, and I see this lady had this Wii bundle, and you can see all the titles that she has are all solid, awesome titles to pick up. I don't know what it is, but some people like lower their price before you even do any haggling. Like I asked her how much she wanted for this lot. She said $40, which was an amazing deal. And then she says, but I'm willing to haggle. People do that to themselves. And I mean, I don't understand it. I actually did not haggle with her at all because obviously this was a solid deal. But what I did say was, I don't need the Wii. I just need the games. How much did you want for them? So she looks at it, she thinks about it. She says $15. I'm obviously not going to say 10 or whatever it is. It's a great deal. There's no need for me to be a dick or get this cheaper than I need to. I didn't pick up I should have picked up the Wii had I had the money, but I only had like 25 bucks left on me anyways. So for $15 to pick these Wii titles up, it was an excellent pickup. Some of these games right here are upgrades for me, which is always good. And I know that I got some toy buffs that watch my show. You see that there is that Star Wars Millennium Falcon that I picked up. I picked that up for $5. You don't see it. It was at, at one of the tables before this, because that's not what this, show's about here. But I'm sure some of y'all out there would think that's pretty cool. I've never had the most interest in collecting toys. I'm always been about collecting video games, but for $5 for an unused model of the Millennium Falcon, I think that was a pretty good deal, so hopefully I did all right with it. So here's another example of there are no games until you ask for them, and you can see we got the little man here bringing out a box full of Wii stuff. It was a Wii style weekend. I mean, that's how it is. Some weeks it's all about PlayStation, some weeks it's all about Xbox. This week just seems to be all about the Wii, which is fine by me. This was actually a really good pickup, because before he brought these games out, I actually got a MacBook laptop for $5. I mean, I don't understand people, man. They just want to give stuff away. But anyways, you see, we got some pretty good Wii titles here. Nothing crazy. What was really crazy about them is a lot of them were sealed. That just goes to show you that I just don't understand what people do with their money sometimes. Like, obviously, this was a fairly, well-off family. They're not struggling or anything. I mean, I got a MacBook off of them for $5. That was perfectly fine. But they have all these games that were never even opened, and there's going to be one game in here that was extremely awesome. I don't know if you can kind of see the color of it, but there it is right there, and that's the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess sealed. Now, obviously, it's not crazy expensive. It's only worth like 25 or 30 bucks, but to have such awesome titles never even played, oh, it just hurts me, but I was happy to pick them up. So I asked them how much they wanted for these games. They said $2 a piece, which obviously I'm going to pick up a handful of them. But I mean, it kills me like sometimes just how willing people are to just give stuff away. And people ask me all the time, some of the craziest finds that I have found. There was one situation where I went to a yard sale, and the lady had a Wii U with a stack of just gorgeous games, like, I mean, all solid titles. And, I picked up a game and I said, how much? And she said $5, and I thought she meant $5 for the game. She meant $5 for everything. That's the Wii U, the games, all that. I mean, people just want, they don't care. And she was the one that bought it. I mean, but yeah, it's what it is. I mean, I'm not going to argue that. I definitely picked that up for $5. But I mean, you run across situations like this all the time where people, they just don't care anymore. So I left this sale with a stack of awesome Wii titles, a few really good sealed games, and a MacBook for Miss Renebean. You best believe it was a great stop, so I was very happy about it. So here we are with the final pickup of the week. Nothing extremely crazy. Like I always tell you, I always show you stuff in order of when I find it. I'm not going to save the best for last, or whatever it is. But you see, I come across this yard sale that was just on the side of the road, and there was a few cartridge-based games, which was the only real retro stuff that I have found this week. I thought it was picked through, but they just set up. They said no one else was there. That's all they had. Of course, I am, like, scrutinizing them, asking them, like, how, is there anything else that you may have? And they didn't have anything. But I do pick up these two games for $1 a piece. It's hard to turn down a cartridge-based game that is only $1 because, like I said, I can bundle this later. But it's hard to find this stuff anymore out in the wild. So anytime I see it, I have to pick it up. So $1 a piece for Jurassic Park and Mission Impossible for the NES. It was a great deal, so I was happy about it. I hope you enjoyed all that awesome live footage. Just like always, we're going to go through everything here on a one-on-one level. If I can remember anything about it, I'll tell you. If not, we're just going to kind of zoom through it because it's never in any particular order. It always gets scattered throughout the week. Where to begin? You saw this was actually the final pickup of the week. I paid $1 a piece for this, which was Jurassic Park for the Super Nintendo, which I already think is claimed by a buddy of mine. And then we got Mission Impossible for the NES. I paid $1 a piece for them. It is hard to pass up dollar cartridge-based games. I pick them up every time, even if they're sports. For the most part, I do. Where to begin? There's too much stuff. In Goodwill, I got this crazy SSX tricky plug and play. I don't know if my big ass can actually use this thing, but I love my plug and play bootleg style system. And this one's official EA, so if any of you ever use something like this, let me know. I don't know how well it would work for me or not. I might have to try it. I'd break the hell out of it. But for $3, that wasn't terrible. I had to do a little, I had to make put a sticker on there for it to work. But hey, why not? At that same Goodwill, I also picked up Truth or Square for $1.50 for the PSP. It's complete. Never played it. Looks like a SpongeBob game, I don't know. Holy fuck. Don't know too much about it. But $1.50 wasn't terrible. Let's see. This was all the games in the PlayStation 3 bundle that you saw me pick up for $40. You don't need to see the system. It does have two official controllers, and then the actual system itself, which appears to be a pre-owned GameStop because it's got the sticker. Haven't tested it out yet, but with the games that I got and the controllers, I mean, it's worth the money that I have if the system does fail. But here are the games that I got for it. We got F1 Race Stars. We got Phineas and Ferb Across the Second Dimension, just a disc. FIFA 16, which may be worth something, I'm not sure. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Most of these games will just be bundled right back with the system when I resell it. Madden 11, disc only. I see this game all the time. It's not worth dick. The Adventures of Tintin, the game. Let's see. This is an awesome game. Little Big Planet Game of the Year edition. Very common. It's not worth much, but it is very fun if you've ever played the Little Big Planet series. You can't make that up. And it's not even in there, but it must be loose. Gran Turismo 5, it may be in the PlayStation. I thought I put every disc back, but oh well. Disney Infinity. That goes with all the... I'm not bringing that big box of Infinity stuff in here. I don't know anything about that stuff. Hopefully I can get rid of it all in one big bloop. FIFA 14. FIFA Soccer 12. FIFA Soccer 13. Obviously a soccer fan. And NBA 2K14. Oh, and then there's more. Yeah, I was going to say, it ain't all of it. The better of the titles is Minecraft, and then Minecraft Story Mode. I can bundle that together and get like half my money back right there. So for $40 with the PlayStation 3, it was a good deal. I was happy about it. There was multiple Wii pickups this week. But before we get to the Wii, let me show you this because this was right before one of the Wii pickups. It's not a toy channel. You know I don't hunt, but this is what I paid. I paid $5 for this. The box is beat up. It hasn't been put together. It's the Star Wars Millennium Falcon. It's a 96 model. It's not like super vintage or anything, but I don't know anything about it. $5, it may have been a good deal. Hell, why not? I'd like to start getting into collecting some toys. I just don't know anything about them. I know I got some, some toy nuts that watch this channel. So hopefully y'all, enjoy that. All right, these Wii games are all scattered about. Yeah, I'm just going to show them to you. All the Wii games, I've literally paid like $2 a piece for anyways, so it doesn't matter if they're scattered around. This is one I did not have, which is Mario Power Tennis. This is a fun one. WarioWare Smooth Moves. If you've ever played any of the WarioWare games, you know this is awesome. Donkey Kong Country Returns. Super Mario Galaxy 2. And Super Mario Galaxy 1. Bundle those two together. It'd be good, quick $30 right there. Lots of Zeldas this week, too. We got Zelda Twilight Princess. This is an awesome one. Zelda Skyward Sword. This is the one with the bonus soundtrack in there, which the soundtrack is beautiful. Mario Kart for the Wii. Gotta love it. And new Super Mario Brothers for the Wii. Mint condition. Excellent. One of the Wii games actually had The Sims 2. Like I always say, ask if they have GameCube games, because a lot of Wiis are backwards compatible, so they may have these lying around. So if you don't mention anything, at least mention GameCube games. Fortunately, it wasn't nothing crazy. Here are some sealed titles. We got Need for Speed Underground. NCAA Football All Play. This is the best one. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Sealed. Good condition. Brothers in Arms, Double Time, awesome. And then the final one was, which is coming all apart, nothing crazy though, is Naruto Clash of the Ninja 2 Revolution. I don't know nothing about it. $2 a piece on all that. Absolute excellent steal. And I did get that MacBook too for $5, but y'all don't need to see that. That was an excellent deal. Before we go through this last box, I'm going to go ahead and announce the winner to the weekly contest giveaway before I forget. I'm really nervous that one of these weeks I'm actually going to forget. I hope I don't. Are you ready for this? This is awesome. I love anytime someone wins, especially if I've seen them comment many times, because it's great. You put them in the randomizer, and there it is. I'm like, hell yeah, that went to an awesome person. Everybody who watches is awesome, but this is a good one. The winner to the weekly contest giveaway, Retro Papa Fam. You won $20 store credit to my eBay store. See a game that's $20, you get it for free. See it for 30, you get it for 10. Work with me. Send me a message on Instagram if you can, or eBay. eBay is kind of weird about messages. They always think that I'm trying to sell something outside of eBay. So if you can, send me a message on Instagram, and we'll go from there. Congratulations. If you did not win this week, there's always next week, people, so don't be nervous. It's always more contest. But anyways, let's get back to it. Let's see. This is all Miss Renebean's finds left over. I don't know why there's an Atari catalog in here. What the hell is this? Nope, this is my find right here. This was Sonic the Hedgehog 2, my favorite find of the week, simply because I have beat that pain in the ass thrift store that I have never found shit in. So pick that up for $2. Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Sonic with his big ass melon. Awesome pickup. No, there's still more finds for me. It's not all Miss Renebean. We'll go through some Miss Renebean finds here though. Let's see. She picked up the Walking Dead comic right there, the book. Very cool, buck a piece. She paid $1 for these games right here. PlayStation 3, LA Noire, which is a fantastic game. Uncharted 2, Among Thieves. This is a beautiful game right here, which is The Last of Us. Awesome. And then Saints Row 4. Some of that you didn't see on camera, but $1 a piece. Excellent buys. And all these games here were $1 a piece as well. And these are Miss Renebean pickups. We got Blood Wake for the original Xbox. Mortal Kombat Deception. A demo disc, which I didn't realize she had in there, of Oblivion too. So you best believe I am keeping that. Do I have it? February? Oh, son of a bitch, I already have February. Nah. Spider-Man for the original Xbox. Rage. Actually, I got 2 copies of Rage, and I don't know why. Maybe one's from last week. Rage is a fantastic game. I remember when this game... I'm a huge fan of anything survival, apocalyptic style. And this game, it takes, what, 3 or 4 discs? You had to install them, too, as you played it. It was a huge game, and it was very short. That was the unfortunate thing about it. But it was beautiful, and it was a good game. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Alright, here's the last of it. This was at the flea market, and I paid, was it like $12 or something for all this. We got these games, I've never heard of them, which was Maximo Ghost to Glory and Maximo Army of Zen. Awesome games out there, exclusive for the PlayStation. I gotta give these a shot. They look interesting. So that's cool right there. And then, the universe is a crazy thing, people. I told y'all in the last pickups, I've never come across Nintendo Powers. I haven't really, like, actively seeked them out, and, you know, since like the last 6-7 years. I just never find them. Some people can find things. You'll probably be like, you know, I found many of those. I find them every week. Some people don't. Like I told you in the live pickups, some people never come across Yoshi's Story for the 64. I've heard that. I don't know why. I see it all the time. It's just how it goes. So these are my first Nintendo Powers that I've ever owned. Like whenever I never had the subscription or anything. I had friends that had it. I just never bothered. You know, it just wasn't one of those things that was in my mind back then. So I never had them, but now I got a few. We got the Nintendo Power Star Fox Adventures from the GameCube. I actually liked that game. Some people hated it, but I liked it. It was cool. This is a strategy guide. Super Mario Sunshine, good one to have. Another good one to have, which is Metroid Prime. I have played the entire Metroid series, and I have started on Prime. I'm not that big of a fan of it. I know some people are going to hate me for it, and some people are going to agree with that. It's very confusing of a game, at least for me. I've gotten like 10 hours into it. I'm just like, God damn, there's too much backtracking all over the place. But hopefully when that new Metroid Prime comes out for the Switch, it's going to be awesome. I think it will be. I love the 2D side-scrolling Metroids. Those are fantastic games. That's still a good guide to pick up. We got the Sonic Adventure 2 Nintendo Power. So yeah, right there. And my final Nintendo Power here. I don't know what it's for, but there it is. I got 3 Nintendo Powers, people. I know some of you out there, like, people have, like, the full sets and extras and all that. I just don't come across them. Maybe that my luck is going to change. I hope the hell it is, because I think they're awesome. I would love to look through them. But that's it, people. That's all I got for the week. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I don't know how next week's going to go. For some reason, I don't know if we're going to have an episode. I think it's going to rain a lot next week. It's forecasted. Could be wrong. If that's the case, we may miss a week. That, like I told you, that's bound to happen as we get later in the season. It may go every other week when we do an episode. That way I can give you a full episode. I don't want to give you a 5-minute episode. But anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed it. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.